Afternoon, guys. Iron's back. I've had a sleep. Oh. Whoops. Alright. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Okay. Let's go get a chat up. The right chat. It's there this time. It's there this time. Oh. Now, this music is nostalgic. Turn it up a little bit. Really, I need to sort my bags out. Alright, just drink up. I'll go make a coffee now. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Be seeing ya.
Alright, I'm back.
I is back.
Now we have a mount. Questing is going to be so much faster. Okay, the Ghost Wolf was helpful, but that 20% speed is gonna make questing so much better. Do I actually have to go around? Okay. Whatever. Popple? Afternoon? Oh wow, I have to actually go fully round. Wait. I'm confused. Oh, okay. I see, I see. Close. Excuse me. Okay, after these set of yeah, we'll I most probably will Hearthstone. Is the oil here? Okay, is everything done? All I need is the Seder horns. Yeah, I think I pulled a little bit too much there. I don't know how I pulled so many. Finally. Oh my god. Let's clear out our bags. Quickly.
Greetings, traveler.
Greetings, traveler.
Goodbye.
So nostalgic. Go more grandma.
Glory to the Horde. May your blades never dull.
Speak, friend. Strength.
can I help you with? Victory! Down. Strength and honor. Strength. Zug zug. Abu. and thunder. For the Horde.
Alright, let's give out there these 3 pieces of gear. Hopefully we can find a rogue or a hunter. Okay, hopefully we can find a rogue or a hunter.
Loktar. Go forth to victory. Stronghold. Go with honor.
Alright, guys. Mission complete. Bless him. At least he has some upgrades when he levels up.
Time is money, friend. Interesting.
Loktar, glory to the Horde. What can I do? Farewell. Greetings.
Makra. Strength and honor. Talk to me. Spirits be with you.
Are they inside the den? No.
I haven't got all day.
No. Okay. Yeah, I think I have to go round and then go, maybe there's a cave here. I don't know. Da 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 da. Run. Okay. These lands are infected. Yeah, I must be gone the right way then if sucks, my fire magic is going to be useless here. You have no power here. Oh, there this druid has beat me to it. Looking good, dude. Oh, I really need a green helm at some point. Yeah, there's nothing I'm really gonna get gear-wise for quite a while. I still have a level 12 chest. Help me, I'm poor. And those are like a slight upgrade. There's no point me running that just for that. Oh, wow. I'm guessing that's like a 0.001% drop chance. Those are some nice feet. Oh, nice. Still, I'd rather have these. Just for the strength. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any dungeons until I'm level at least 34, so I can do Scarlet. Oh, I was distracted. Right, good luck, bro. Yeah. I kind of want to try and... Oh, those would be so nice. Or that ring would be nice. But they're rare spawns. Come on, can I get a proc? Yeah, nice. I am Mal'Ganis. I am eternal. Excuse me. I was a little tired. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have an early night tonight though, guys. I've been like trying to power level. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I can get a new chess piece at some point. Chess piece and helm. Am I? Can I make helms with? Yeah, I made those already for myself. Mage weave, silk cloth. I mean. Yeah, I need to farm heavy leather. YouTube, tell me how I can farm a leather. Heavy leather. I think they're 30 mobs plus, right? They're level for 30 mobs plus. Okay, let's watch Guzu's new a video about how money and PvP ruined classic WoW. Let's have a listen.
Last time we talked a bunch about ranking. Oh gosh, that was a trip
Excuse
down
me.
memory lane. Wait. MasterCard? Because the best way to play an MMO is to do everything possible to not play it. Oh gosh.
RPG has gained a reputation of being the most intense genre of game.
True.
Oh, it's Mad Season.
Competitive, easily
Is
the
this
most
Lord of the Rings?
time-consuming, the most grindy, and combine this with the fact that
Oh my god, sorry. Age of Conan, dude. Oh my gosh. Who here played Age of Conan? God damn it, man. I really, really like this game. And the reason I'm getting a little bit excited is because he's playing what I played. I played an archer, a hunter. I think they were called archers. And I remember I would have a crossbow. And the crossbow had like a wind-up ability that took like 5 seconds and it would do so much damage. And there was also like, you could execute people. If you got like a crit when they were close to dying, there would be like a little cutscene where you would like chop off their head. It was so cool, man. Oh my gosh. Age of Conan is that's an old school one. Unfortunately, there just wasn't enough content in the game, and it ended up kind of being a little bit poop, but it was cool.
they never end. It's not uncommon these days for players to have several years of play
Sorry
time
about
with a substantial portion of that time dedicated to items or rewards that would leave most rational people mystified of their obsessiveness. World of Warcraft being a
It's true though. Like, I remember, in Wrath of the Lich King, where when I think I was level 40 when the Wrath of the Lich King dropped. And man, I remember inspecting people from TPC in Ilgrimar, and I was just like, oh, I cannot wait until I can get gear for that some epic level. And it gives you something to strive for. In retail, you just you get so much gear that the gear you get kind of loses its value. Okay, that retail people are the ones that want it. I like that, but personally, I liked it so when that one piece of next gear was such an upgrade that it actually mattered. But that's my take.
staple of the genre is no different, and today we continue our series of videos
Anti-streamer
covering the most
add-on.
unhinged, craziest, obsessed, spectacular, and maybe even the most toxic moments in its history. Before we get into it, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Boot.dev. Boot.dev
Wow.
is a learning platform that gives you a very hands-on way to learn Python,
Okay.
SQL, and Go through interactive lessons.
Learning.
It's actually built like an RPG. You earn XP, unlock achievements, fight bosses, but at the same time,
Cool.
everything you do is teaching you these real and job-ready skills for a profession that's been earning over $100,000 a year. And if that isn't MMO-like enough for you, they also recently released the Training Grounds feature, which lets you
Training
complete
Grounds.
challenges infinitely for as long as you want, until whatever concept you're working on clicks for you. And if you get stuck,
That's cool.
you can enlist the aid of either the AI-powered Bear Wizard, Boots, or an active Discord community of real people to help guide you through things.
We do prefer
So,
real
If
people.
you've ever thought about finally learning real back-end development the fun way, go to boot.dev
Yeah,
and
real
use
people
my
is
code
preferred.
MadSeasonShow to get 25% off the entire first year on the annual plan.
Surely we'll earn 170k as a programmer. It's probably the similar thing with streaming, right? Like the top people in that like do programming probably earn a whole lot, but most don't earn very much at all.
Anyways, back to the video. Classic World of Warcraft.
Okay.
The Refuge. The oasis from the impure. Free from the clutches of gameplay destroying monetization and the greedy corporate
Surely.
shell of a game that retail has become. You want a level? Buy the level boost. You want gold? Buy the WoW token.
Yep.
You want the best gear in the game? Gladiator. The super high level item? Use the gold from the WoW token.
Yep.
I love MMOs, but you know, I hate the leveling. I mean, I love the
Yeah, I agree.
genre, but I hate farming gold. It's my favorite type of game to play, but I hate having to find a guild and having to socialize to raid. The MMORPG is the only genre of game that people love so much that they'll actually pay any amount of money possible to not play it. And
When you say it like that, it's actually kind of crazy. Like it is insane. Oh man, I love it. I love WoW. It's such a good game. I can't wait to play it. Buy boost, buy WoW token, buy like everything. Like it's so silly.
money possible to not play it. And one of the things that Classic World of Warcraft was anticipated and touted for was that it was the before times, the pure early years before the game was monetized in 40 different ways.
I guess you could argue that this is just gaming in general these days, though. I feel like the early days of video games, like I guess early days, like 90s, 2000 and stuff like that, there just wasn't as like egregious, crazy monetization as there is nowadays.
Ever since Activision acquired
It's a
Blizzard in
shame.
2008, players have slowly witnessed the game becoming more and more monetized in more and more impactful ways. What started as just in-game
I love the FTL background music. Good job by Mad Season.
cosmetic pets
Oh, yeah.
we promise slowly transformed into being able to purchase all forms of character progression, of course. Even the best items and the most coveted titles
MasterCard.
available with the swipe of a credit card. And so when Classic 2019 was announced and players learned that its only monetization was a subscription fee, they felt like they were going back to those good old days.
That is true, but the investors would never like that. That's why you get the freaking boost, and that's why you get all these like early access, like epic editions, mega editions, and stuff like that. It's a shame, but it's the investors, you know. I think it's because it's the genre that attempts to persuade the players its life itself. I don't really know what you mean with that, but I mean it is essentially a second life. It is. You get social proof from the game, yeah. I mean, playing an MMO is essentially like a second life, and that's why that's why it became so popular, because you could kind of forget about the real life and just immerse yourself in this fantasy world, right? It's also why it's so
Accomplishments
addicting.
meant something because they were obtained with time commitment instead of a credit card. But as time went on and the game started to get progressively and blatantly infested with bots, players started to put two and two together, and they realized if there's such a large supply, there must also be a large demand. Players, of course, turned to third-party websites to do anything in their
1,200 gold for $76. Damn.
power to not play the video game that they claim to love playing. Raiders,
That's a scam.
rankers, levelers paying for dungeon boosts, casual players browsing the auction house, largely in part with Blizzard's lack of agency or interest in enforcing the
Okay.
terms of service. RMT was and remains to be rampant in classic World of Warcraft, as players were all too eager to immediately
It'll keep happening as well. As long as people purchase and utilize these services, they will keep happening because they're worth it for them to do it. You ever paid that much? I never bought gold. Ever.
corrupt the last bastion of an even playing field. The intense demand birthed a veritable bot army infesting every single corner of the game, and players watched hundreds invade leveling zones, over
This is sad to see,
farming
though.
spots, fly hack teleport to raids. They would be abused in boost runs, where mages
Oh,
would
yeah,
gather
these.
up hundreds of mobs in a dungeon to AoE them all at once. Often this was done with cheating software. They would
Oh,
create
yeah.
these automatically ran scripts
I
that would
remember those.
perform their routes for them, or just straight up teleport hack, as players who yearned for the good old days of meaningful leveling and questing AFK'd at the entrance, paying with gold that they bought with the credit card. Essentially,
It is a bit sad, but I guess as people just... I suppose maybe you value your time over the money, so maybe it's someone that like works and then they come home and they only have a few hours to play. They want to get to the end game at level 60, so instead of like spending their hours leveling and actually playing the game, they just pay someone else to play it for them so they can get to the content that they want to see. It is a bit of a shame that it is like that, but I think a lot of people probably do that. I mean, that's why it's so popular.
purchasing a level boost in all but name. It was particularly rampant within the raiding community, as with
Just play a single player game at that point. No, I think it's also because like massively like MMOs comes with like some sort of prestige in like, oh, this guy has like the Warclaves or an old school RuneScape. Oh my god, he has the Twisted Bow or whatever, right? People see that and they're like, oh my gosh, but you could just like cheat your way to it. So people will go out of their way and purchase stuff in the game just for clout too.
Vanilla and its balance being in the Wild West.
What was that thing with, there was some guy back in the day, I don't remember the name of him, but like back in 2006, there was some really famous rogue that had Warclaves that then ended up selling his account to some guy, and then it was such a popular, famous rogue that the guy that purchased the account ended up getting banned. Because people could just tell it wasn't him. And then, obviously, it's not legal, so...
Consumables played a huge role.
Oh, is that against the TOS?
Months of raiding war on... many players as they turned towards swiping in order to maintain the costly upkeep.
Goes to
And
your
not
guild?
only that, but
Really?
as time went on and raids became more and more puggable, GDKP runs would become more and more common. Short for gold dragon killing points.
Okay, I
which
have no
makes
idea.
sense, by the way. Items in these raids would be auctioned off in a bidding war between the players, and at the end, the pot would be split evenly amongst the raid. For some,
Hey, evenly is a big stretch. Because the whole reason why GDKPs are happening is because people profit off of them. The people who make the GDKPs, they're literally doing it as a job. They are managing and utilizing these GDKPs to make money. Or gold, right?
Where is there this mob?
The normal thing was that, okay, there's an organizer that does a GDKP raid.
Excuse me.
They make an even split amongst the raid, where the top DPS gets a little bit of a higher cut, that's the carries. But then there's a management cut. And that's not a small cut. That's usually like 20% of the whole pot. Which means that if there, let's say there is 100,000 gold that was like traded in that raid, they take 20,000 gold just for themselves, and then it's a cut for the rest. I know when I was running GDKPs back in TBC and like late vanilla, early TBC and late TBC, I guess. The people that would run these GDKPs, they would do, I kid you not, like 7 raids a day. They would just have 30 characters to raid on.
Oh, it was there. Oh
And they
my
would
god,
just
I'm so angry.
raid, be done, raid, be done, raid, be done. They would raid like just all day, every day. It's a job.
it was an interesting way to...
And then they sell the gold back to the people buying the gold, entering the GDKPs. I mean, it's crazy.
gold while participating in their favorite
It's so
activity.
crazy.
And for others, the pipeline to achieve the best gear in the game by swiping a credit card, just like the retail version of the game, culminating with this now infamous screenshot of a player paying near gold cap for Gressel, which is the best in slot one-hander for DPS.
$5,000 for a Gressel in Nax when BC is about to come out.
That is insane.
That's crazy. That is insane.
That
Warriors.
is.
These GDKP runs would soon take over the game, even prompting enough demand for Blizzard to ban them in future reruns.
He said, yeah, I do remember, that guy that purchased it said he got that much money from doing Diamol East jump runs. He said he farmed gold cap off of Diamol East jump runs. That is insane.
They're still in the 2019 line of the game, and they...
How much can you make from a jump run? Like, how much do you make an hour? 100 gold, 200 gold an hour? Something like that, maybe, if you're really efficient, if you're running with like a warrior and then a healer and you're doing it together.
Okay, I need to
Make,
look
like, what, 100, 200
for a
each?
raid den. Or the den.
It's crazy though. He must have farmed a lot of Diamol East. He must have just lived in there though. Respect for that.
remain to be quite dominant. And so, the combined efforts of the players themselves and the lack of moderation on Blizzard's part, one of the things that chased players away from the retail version of the game is now fully integrated into the culture of what was supposed to be an escape. With this screenshot serving
players,
as
though.
a monument that time is an endless circle and
Ah,
always eventually
a
lead
ramp.
to the same place.
Okay, a ramp.
Usually in response to that,
There
people
should
say
be
it's
a ramp here.
gatekeeping, completely ignoring the fact that it's a multiplayer game and all progress is relative. Not that you would expect somebody who pays other people to play 90% of the game for them to understand the genre. But if you really want to talk about gatekeeping,
The Blacklist streamer add-on. I
There we
remember
go.
this.
you haven't seen anything yet.
Oh,
The build-up to Classic's release was one of the most intense moments in the
Yeah.
Blizzard community's history.
I know,
Fueled
you
by
know.
distrust of the modern developers, the pre-launch for the 2019 run was dominated by the no changes movement. The raids, class balance or lack thereof, items, reputations, PvP system, world buffs. They wanted the original game.
Yep,
as
no
close
changes.
as humanly possible. Any and everything, from blob shadows to the classic water to even introducing artificial lag to match the limited technological.
they actually, like, Blizzard went really out of their way to, like, make it no changes, or, like, as it was. And the thing is, people didn't want, like, no changes. They wanted to be like the private servers that they know. Because that's how the private servers were. They added, like, spell batching in an...
My gripe is I just wish there was some sort of transmog. I know it's fun having mismatching sets, but I would love for then an option to just have like even if it has like a week's cooldown or something. I just would love to have a matching set and look amazing and have the gear I want equipped, but I'm hoping transmog will be a thing in Classic Plus. Please, please. I love you're collecting gear sets and transmogging.
insane, like, high MS just to simulate that as well. It was pretty crazy. It was a crazy design.
Full infrastructure.
But it was because that's how Nostalrius did it. And people were used to Nostalrius. So they wanted... people didn't really want no changes. They wanted, like, the Nostalrius experience, I think. 2019 Classic, what a time. I think they did the best they really could with how people wanted, because, man, if they did not... People would be there with pitchforks. It's crazy. The Classic community is ridiculous when it comes to that, but... It's just funny to see where we've come from that.
The mid 2000s.
I would be there with a pitchfork as well. Probably. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Today, this crowd has mellowed out quite a bit, especially after the death blow that was delivered via paid level boosts. Told you so, by the way. But anyone who is active during the lead up to the game will...
People who say no changes will ruin Classic. This is a message to those no changes people. All you're doing is stagnating the game. What is the quality of life changes really due to the long jeopardy of Classic? Adding a barber shop, implementing achievements, adding more NPCs around the world. Developing and improving Classic seems to be getting more popular, and I'm not surprised one bit. New raids, dungeons, quest zones that directly engage with the current lore would be vast improvement of a game that in some respect seems unfinished. Your no changes game toxic attitude is outright pathetic and childish. When you look at this, like, comment now, he's not wrong. Like, he is not wrong. Like, he's being very rude, but, like having some sort of, like... he's essentially arguing for Classic Plus. He's being really, like, abrasive about it, but when you look at it, though, from 2019, if they were to be like, hey, guys, here's Classic WoW, but we added a bunch of dungeons and cool stuff, people would hate it. People would not like that, because that wasn't the meta then. That wasn't what people were used to. The whole Turtle WoW and all that stuff became really popular after the release because people wanted more after they got Classic. So nowadays it makes sense, but back in 2019, there would be pitchforks, for sure.
Call just how intense it was, and anyone suggesting any change, no matter how minor it may have been, were immediately drawn and quartered.
Yeah, nowadays it makes more sense because people have kind of been burned out a little bit on all the Classic stuff, so people just want something different. And no changes players aren't playing Era now. Yeah, I mean, it's how it goes. It's been years, right? It's been years of, like, playing and stuff like that. Even for myself, like, I've kind of experienced a lot of the stuff that I want to see of it. But even With that being said, I can still go back now and play Era and do the hardcore, like a hardcore playthrough or whatever, and still enjoy that. So I don't think it was stupid that they did no changes. I think it was the best that they could do. It's just a different landscape nowadays. I mean, didn't people throw a fit when the Sarge Alliance Rend Wellbuff got to Era? I think they did, yeah.
The player base believed that the best thing that Blizzard could do for the game was to not touch it. But that's not the unhinged part. Obviously, one of the things that has changed since 2004 that's outside of Blizzard's and the player's control is the world surrounding the game. You can recreate it perfectly to every pixel as much as you want, but the players now know the game like the back of their penis. Database websites are far more advanced. People now talk on Discords instead of in-game and on forums. YouTube has full guides on how to do literally everything, and the collective player...
Dude, I remember Tipsop making a guide on how to do, like, Wailing Caverns. It was so crazy. It's pretty insane. But, I mean, that's how it was, though. I mean, it's the hype. It was just the hype of it. That's what it is.
They're now balding, and
I would argue they know the game better. Do you mean the players or what?
Their life choices, such as playing too much World of Warcraft in their youth. It's a different time, to be sure.
Yes, I mean, of course, there's the ones that play it.
The differences is the streaming culture. Of course, there were no live streamers in 2004,
Yeah, the streaming.
and with the game being multi.
Yeah, I kind of want to see who's live. Hold on, I'm just interested.
Of course, there were
Heyo, Dusaru, Tellus, Everson, Evertel, Savix, Naui, Joker, TBC Classic Mage leveling,
no live streamers
Perplexity.
in 2004.
Kind of fun seeing.
And with the game being multiplayer, but no changes, crowds saw them as a threat to this attempted sanctity of the game. What if a streamer plays on their server? What if they have a crowd of people spamming chat channels, giving them free items and gold, an easy scarab lord? It is a multiplayer
Asmon.
game. After all, you can't just live in your own bubble.
No, I
and
love
not affect
Asmon
others.
Gold, though.
So this would become a source of friction between streamers.
He is
Streamers
entertaining.
are cancer.
I'm kind of
God.
sad
player
he
base,
quit
with
WoW,
some
but
members-
Dude, Farlina was
yeah.
an experience. That was an experience, but at the very least, for the most part, all the streamers, myself included, were kind of just on that server. That was just like the streamer server. You know, it was a cesspool. It was... Streamers are great, but also horrible. Like, for the game. I think streamers can bring a lot of cool stuff when it comes to, like, you know, certain events and doing cool events and things like that, but it can also definitely be a shit show with it.
The latter, making it clear that
What's the great part? Well, I mean, to give you a recent example, we're doing like a season discovery event right now, and we're able to do this because we're streaming and we're making videos, and we can bring so many people together and then go enjoy like an event. I think something like that is an amazing thing to be able.
Without
to do as a
him,
streamer.
lads.
alien communities were not welcome on their server. This would go on for months until it hit something of a boiling point when a popular streamer named Soda Poppin had this to say.
Love to not receive any streamer benefits, but also all the downsides of being a streamer. I don't want to receive those either. I'd rather it all just be gone. I want to be a completely normal player.
There's a lot of great things about streaming WoW in terms of, oh, you get gold, you get gear, people to always group with, but then you also gotta deal with some of the bad things, right? It's how it goes. And what it says, if it wasn't for streamers, loyal players would have been filling a single medium pub server and have a blast. Yeah, probably. Probably.
That's not happening. One thing you could do is basically a Horde and Alliance blacklist. If an Alliance player is just blatantly just being a fucking smurf, just stream sniping, clout chase, like all these different terrible things, like annoying things, I'll take that person and I'll say, okay, blacklist this person. My friends,
Yeah, I
on the
really
Alliance
can't
or other
be
streamers
asked
don't play with
to
this person. They are never
run all the
allowed
way out.
anything
Oh,
that
shit.
the actual
I'll
good
be lazy.
guilds on the Alliance are doing. They're blacklisted. So you won't get any actual good raids. You'll never actually get any good gear. And eventually, if you want to keep stream sniping, you're going to be doing it while I have double your gear.
This was essentially an open declaration of war to the
Yeah, Farolina was such a shit show, man. Who remembers Advertise? Hello, everybody. Oh, gosh.
no changes crowd who swiftly
The funniest thing about that Advertise thing was
Still, the 2019 the release of Classic. I joined the hype, but I got to level 60 and I did, I think, a Molten Cores, and I'm used to like Wrath of the Lich King gameplay, and just healing a Molten Core. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Classic people, but I was so bored, man. I was playing a priest, and all I did was just put 1 or 2 renews on the tank, and did like rank 2 heals on the tank. Yeah, and then I stopped playing after that.
apparently he was some really big YouTuber, like some voice coach, something like that, with like millions of subs on YouTube, that literally just did it for the love of the game. He just did it for the love of the fucking game. Oh
applied
god.
with their most powerful weapon, complaining on the forums. The autism reached their highest levels when a coalition of players announced the creation of an add-on called the Blacklist, which was designed to blacklist not just soda poppin', but all streamers.
On August 12th, a coalition of at least 4 well-known hardcore private server guilds always plans to speed level a
Oh
full
my
raid
God.
in hopes of a week 1 Ragnaros kills will announce their intended server with this message.
Do we talk like that, guys?
Streamers, you're not welcome on
I
Dax.
feel
Any attempt to play on our server will result in such an amount of griefing from both factions that you will be unable to play.
how dare you.
have been warned. After 9 days, we will
Mad
begin the
season.
plan of attack. They will be course camps. They will be chain CC'd.
You
They
got
will have
me.
Their bags and mailboxes filled with heavy leather balls and
No, not the heavy leather balls.
peeling the onions. They will not be able to take a single mob in any zone that they're in. This will be a coordinated effort of at least 100.
Oh my god, yeah, it's a whole
No amount of fanboy
paragraph.
will stop us.
Oh gosh.
But that's not enough. Sometime after our announcement, but before the game launches, we will publish the Blacklist.
Oh gosh.
An add-on that will make streamers invisible to their own faction and constantly tracked by their opposing faction.
Damn.
With the Blacklist, any streamer and those in the same guild will have the
Alright,
following
let's
effects
turn
placed
this
on
in.
them. Your trade requests
Where
and group requests
can I
will
go?
be automatically cancelled. If a player enters a group you're already in, they will automatically leave. Attempts to join any group by a blacklisted individual will fail.
Dude, people are so crazy, man. This is why the whole thing recently is, one of you guys mentioned like Papi Putin with the Red Empire. Shit like this has happened forever in Classic. I'm not trying to make a slight of the things that's happening right now with the Red Empire and stuff like that, but dude, if you've been around Classic WoW and like private servers and all that stuff, these things are unfortunately kind of normal. Like there is some really crazy people.
You will not be able to be targeted with beneficial spells.
Yep.
Your actions will be hidden. Your set in all channels, including say, yell, and whisper, will not appear anywhere to anyone.
They want the shit to fail. Yeah. Yeah. It's super cringe. I can't handle this Classic video, so happy I ditched it. Dude, there is some very interesting people in it for sure.
You will automatically be banned from any custom chat channels, including global ones. Your precise location will be broadcast to all members of the opposite faction. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I love the voice he did that freaking Mad Season.
It goes on to say that incentives such as gold or gear.
People must actually know these streamer fucks. Can't be that hard to fuck them up and see, this is where it gets crazy though. To fuck them up in real life. See how far their server intimidation gets them then. Have you actually seen Aspen or Soda? They look like a stiff breeze would knock them over. Like people are like it. There is some very big hatred
31! Woo!
in a lot of people for sure.
Would be offered to participate in guilds, and even those who refused to participate would be added to the blacklist, marking the peak of one of the most embarrassing moments in the game's history.
Yeah.
Which is kind of saying a lot.
Yeah. It's the 2019 Classic was an experience. It was an experience.
It was.
Diamol Ashurka's Kasak. What is this? Phase 2. Oh, the honor system?
PvP will be a subject often discussed in the series, as it's quite a potent source of degeneracy. And
Okay.
next on the list
We
is
need to go to
Phase 2
Sun
of Classic
Retreat.
2019.
Okay.
When Blizzard re-released Classic World of Warcraft,
And I can make
they
a cup of
implemented
tea.
something of a schedule of content releases.
Wait,
Of
what?
course, when the game originally released back in 2004,
Oh, it's that.
many of the features and systems, raids, dungeons, recipes,
Right,
quests, and so
be
on
right back, guys.
were slowly added. So for the re-release, they decided to pick what they felt to be the most major of these updates
Yep.
and fit them into a 6-phase schedule to roughly match the cadence of patch releases in the original run of the game. Phase
I think it was pretty good the way that it did it. It was okay. I would have loved to have seen progressive itemization as well, though, but that's just like a personal flaw that I found with it.
1 would come with the original raids, the Molten Core and Onyxia, as well as Moradin, and as you can see, it explicitly mentions that while you can PvP, there are no rewards for doing so.
Yep.
This missing honor system would come in Phase 2, which was released on November 12th, 2019, which was about 2.5 months after its initial release. So by this point, vast majority of serious players had hit level 60, and they'd started to accumulate high-end gear. The reason why it was
Yeah. Why aren't streamers that know the game and community like you and few others allowed to help lead these projects they're attempting? I mean, I don't know. It's like streamers can do many cool things, like bringing attention to stuff and like hyping up things. I mean, you could argue whether you like streamers or not, whether you like content creators and YouTubers and you think they're a plague on the game or whatever. I would argue a big reason why, like, this whole like classic WoW even happened is because that they were so heavily pushed by a lot of content creators. That wasn't myself. I wasn't really a streamer back then when all those things like happened. I was just kind of doing my own thing, but a lot of it was really heavily pushed by it. It was private servers. It was Nostalrius. The whole thing sparked with Nostalrius, and then the petition, and then but there was also a lot of things being pushed from streamers. Many non-streamers wanted it as well. Of course, yeah. I'm not saying that they were like they were like the reason why it happened, but they were a big help in it coming to fruition. Obviously, getting those 350,000 petitions signs was that was like a big nail in the coffin. And I signed that petition myself. I don't know if you guys did. Streamers brought the hype and attention to convince some to come back. Yeah, it's that, and that's what streamers can be good at, I think. Bringing hype and letting people know about stuff. But it can also come at a detriment, right? Obviously.
one of the most toxic and degenerate
really many.
moments in the game's history, however, were 3 in total. 1, as low as level 48, players would count as an honorable kill, and therefore give honor. 2, there were no battlegrounds implemented at this point, as the first 2, the Warsun Gulch and the Altric Valley, were coming in phase 3.
Streamers can become echo
and
chambers as well, yeah.
3, PvP on a PvP server. Well, that is if you count PvP as groups of 10, 20, 30 plus roaming around, corpse camping level 40.
Dude, I saw there was a video. I was watching Soda the other night, and he was talking about something similar. He found a video of some priest on Fairlina that timed how long it took to run from Thorium Point to get inside of BRD on Fairlina. It took him half an hour to run from Thorium Point, BRD. Half an hour. Because he would run, die, run, die, run, die. They would be horde all the way into the dungeon, killing him. 13 deaths for 30 minutes.
38s in Fellwood, and rogue stalking flight points to gank people who went AFK to take a shit. If
Yeah.
you were
Streamers are somewhat subject to the opinion of the people, so if they don't represent, they lose popularity. I think there's also just a lot of people that don't share their opinions online and like don't follow the streamer stuff and don't do those things. I think that's the majority of players. They just don't care. I mean, before I kind of was a lot more involved in streaming and YouTube and all those things, I pretty much, I just didn't look at those things. I kind of just played games. That's it.
On a PvP server during this time, even if you were a solo level 60, it was like the Purge movies where people are allowed to freely hunt each other without legal repercussions for 24 hours. The world was uninhabitable. Solo.
It was bad.
PvP hotspots that happened to hold dungeons like the Blackrock Depths
Look
and
at
the
this.
Blackrock Mountain was a corpse run marathon, cutting the travel time from
stupid.
5 minutes to 50. Questing areas for levels 50 to 60 were the prime hunting grounds. And
Yeah, I've spoken about this a billion times, but like, to put this in perspective, I would camp the Minethil harbor boats. You could kill people 3 times before they would not be worth honor anymore. And whenever you would zone in the boat, even if you were a corpse, you would spawn again and rest. So I would kill
Things
someone on
that
the boat. They would
players do, man. It's crazy how people have time to just farm you. You love them and you hate them.
On in when the boat zoned over to Kalimdor, I would kill them again. The boat would go to Eastern Kingdoms. I would kill them again. The boat would go back to Kalimdor. I would kill them again, and it would go back to Eastern Kingdoms, and I would let them go.
State your business.
That's how it was. That's how ranking was. Ranking was absolutely ridiculous. Terrible person. I didn't do it because I didn't like them or I wanted to camp them. I did it because I had to keep up with the other people ranking as well. And if I didn't do it, I couldn't keep up. That's how it was.
if you're
The ranking system is like the most toxic, horrible system ever. It was so crazy.
Walk with
The rogues would be in Minethil Harbor. Me and Bobka, Savix, Stiletto, a bunch of other rogues would be there. And all the shamans and warriors and the rest of the classes would be around BRM, Blackrock Mountain.
was green.
In retrospect, do you regret doing the rank 14 grind? I don't know if I regret it. Sometimes I do. I do think I could have probably spent my time a
Hey
lot
guys,
better
we've
than
maxed
doing
out
that, but,
the Thunderstrikes.
That's just what I did.
I can't
man.
wait
I just
to get
wanted to do that.
Flurry.
It was like classic WoW came out. It was my favorite game. Like I finally could play it. I could finally rank. Like I just wanted to do it. I wanted to do it so bad.
Around the table as
Yeah, it's a
everybody was
shame I
scrambling to
had
scavenge as much honor as humanly possible. And
a World of Warcraft burnout in 2019. It sucks because when 2020 came around, I was burnt out on WoW, so yeah, I think I played the Magic of the Gathering Arena a lot. I'm hooked on that game, dude. It's crazy, it's been out for like nearly, it says 7 years.
remember, this was the era before Dungeon Finder and teleports. You either had to quest out in the world or hide in the confines of a dungeon and mindlessly grind it over and over to
Keep
progress.
them forever, Maddie.
You'd have actual raids patrolling across entire zones in circles, hunting levelers, and another one waiting at the graveyard in case they took resurrection sickness. When the honor system first released in 2005, it wasn't like this because no one really understood the game, but by 2020, the game obviously has been microanalyzed and hyper-optimized, and the optimal way to rank during this period was to corpse camp people until they logged off.
Yep.
It was truly one of the rattiest times in the game's history. The casual players just started to straight up quit for them.
It just wouldn't be fun if you were not ranking. That would be hell to play on that game. Like it would straight up just be hell.
Man, I think I rolled on the streamer server, I think, on EU. I vaguely remember it was a PvP realm, and I was a priest, a healing priest, and I remember this rogue stream sniped me. He kept on sapping me. Oh my god, it was so fucking annoying.
and third-party websites were overflowing with salt, and many point towards this moment as a major hemorrhaging of the casual player base on PvP servers,
Yep.
as the game was essentially unplayable.
Hey, look at this.
Some people will say, what are you talking about? This looks awesome, which it is in some senses. In a way,
True.
it's rather interesting and unique to have such danger roaming about the world, but
It is very cool seeing a world so filled with people just fight. It's like it's like a straight up just war on the server for like weeks. And that is cool, but it's also a hell if you just like that. You just want to do a dungeon. Okay, maybe you're a dad gamer. You got like, you know, you got 4 wives and 17 kids, and you got like an hour to play a week, right? And you just want, man, I just want to run a BRD with the boys, but you can't because you get corpse camped by Kevin, who plays 20 hours a day.
problem was it ended up being incredibly damaging to the game because
But
it was at this
that's the
moment that the
beauty
servers
of it,
became
though.
incredibly imbalanced.
Yep.
Servers with even small discrepancies between the factions, such as 60-40, would eventually slide to 70-30 and then
Yep.
80-20 because the undermanned faction simply couldn't play the game. This would cause players to transfer
Berlin was the
en
horse
masse
server.
off of underdog factions, and not only that, they would transfer to servers where their faction was the majority until 90% of the active servers became imbalanced to the point to where you couldn't even find raiding guilds.
Yep.
Major cities would be taken over by the opposite faction, so as interesting as it all was, it was also
People min-max the shit out of the servers to the point where it would just be one-sided.
a very damaging moment for the game as people watched their communities, which was one of the major draws of
Yep.
Classic, slowly fade away and fracture under this pressure of severe imbalance. It was so bad that
There was
Blizzard
no organic world PvP in those realms. Thank God I played on a PvE realm. Like people make fun of PvE realms, but it's like the PvP realms eventually just became PvE realms because there was no alliance on the server if you were a horde. It's like there's just no one to PvP.
ended up actually releasing the Warsong Gulch and Altric Valley Battlegrounds 2 months ahead of time before Phase 3, which relieved the craziness going on in the world as
Yeah.
the primary means of farming honor were now battlegrounds, so people could AFK in Altric Valley to rank, which was a different but equally ratty form of
Yeah, AV ranking is boring as fuck. It's the most mind-numbing, boring thing I've ever done. Our AV rank in my 13 weeks of ranking, AV ranking was meta for around 2 weeks. So 2 weeks out of the 13 weeks we did, it was AV. Warsong Gulch eventually became the meta. The Scarab Lord competition was pretty insane as well. It was literally the most no-life I've ever had. When Scarab Lord became a thing in 2019 Classic, I had just finished like rank 14 a few like months prior, so I just didn't care. So what I would do instead of like grinding Scarab Lord or helping people with it is that I would just kill people. I would just run around the hives and kill people, just for fun. That was my Scarab Lord experience. Yeah, I was just ganking people. That was good times.
PvP
Gazoo.
that they loved so much, but even still, the damage was done.
He
as
has
the
an
world
evil
of the
side.
MMO saw yet another example of how the players must be protected from themselves.
Yep, true.
Dude, you need to calm down. No one's fucking yelling at you. So you
Warning.
need to stop yelling at us. Okay?
It's gonna be
We're all
loud.
Cool here, alright? Hey, you! Shut your fucking mouth! Break your fucking
Oh shit.
fuck you!
Next, we're gonna take
Dude, if you get that angry over a game, there is something wrong with you,
a
man.
little field trip, and that's
You.
Mary from the Dark Age of Camelot.
I never played this
one I
MMO.
have to include purely on its insanity. It isn't related to World of Warcraft, but it is often incorrectly attributed to it, and
Come on.
that's the clown
Please.
song incident.
Hey, I know you're part of the motherfuckers! You fucking stole my clown song! If I ever find out where you live, I'm gonna fucking kill you!
This is a true
Oh my
archaeological
God.
find dating back to the prehistoric era, even before YouTube existed. It first popped up on the dinosaur
Come on.
playground, YTMND. Short
Like, dude, if you get that invested into a game where you literally
No,
like
please don't get more.
that's a problem. You have problems, man. That you need put the game down a bit, man.
for You're the Man
No.
Now, Dog.
You're the man now, dog.
Ooh.
This is where memes were created. There wasn't even any video.
Never
It was
heard
just
this.
Still images with audio attached to them. The reason why this was incorrectly attributed to World of Warcraft.
Stole my
We
clown
did
song.
it,
The person
guys.
who posted
Oh
it
my
used an
God.
image from WoW.
Bro, I know you're part of those motherfuckers who rolled over to AS the other day and fucking zerged my cloud song. I swear to fucking God.
The cloud song that a
Jesus.
crestfallen subject is referring to is actually from another legendary MMO called The Dark Age of Camelot.
Yeah.
It was a caster cloak. I'm not even gonna pretend what these stats mean. I'm sure
Okay,
someone
I
in
don't
the
know either.
comments
Some
will be able
people
to
are fucking
cover my
insane,
lack of
dude.
knowledge here. But just know that at some point, this was the best caster cloak in the game.
Wow.
dude, it's just a fucking game.
Dude, that's enraged. Oh, you do not say that to someone. I mean, he's not wrong, but goddamn, that is like the trigger sentence. That's rage bait. That is actual rage bait. Yeah.
The context and circumstances behind the event
Oh,
are a
gosh.
mystery, but considering how the accused doesn't deny the act of thievery, it's assumed that he was somehow able to steal this coveted cloak in some
Oh
way.
gosh.
Anyways, dude, Millie, if that's your name, I don't know if it is. You need to fucking calm down a little bit, dude. You listen up and you listen to me, you little motherfucker. You say one more fucking thing, I'm gonna find out where you live. I'm gonna break your fucking nose. Bro, you don't even know where I live.
The clip became so
Well, they don't care, man. They don't give a fuck. They're goddamn, man.
infamous that it's overtaken the cloak itself, as searching for it will often return results
Oh.
of the mental breakdown rather than Cloud Song itself. It was kind of used to display the mental instability of the MMO player base, and today goes down as one of
Dude.
the most unhinged moments in MMORPG history.
I've actually never heard about this. I've never heard this cloud song thing before.
You fucking talking shit, fuck you, Brooklyn! Fuck you! You're not shit! I fucking own the VN boards! You fucking pussy! Hey, who's fucking muting me? Who's fucking muting me?
Who's muting me? Yeah, I wonder who. Oh gosh. Dude, people really take, like, man. MMOs really just take over people's lives, straight up. It's crazy.
So, RNT, no changes,
Damn.
blacklists, mental breakdowns. Just another day in the wonderful world of the MMORPG. So concludes another episode, but don't
Holy
worry,
moly.
we're just getting started. The game has been running for quite a while, and there's certainly no shortage of crazy moments. So
Yep.
I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Interesting, man. These videos are kind of, it's like going a little bit down memory lane with some of these things, and there's also a bunch of these stories I've never heard before, like the cloud song stuff and those things. That's kind of fun. But man, guys, you gotta remember. This dude's on the fence about quitting TBC until a piece of loot drops. No, I don't know. It's something. I really want to.
Let's have a look at what the Zaryu's or Gezu's plans are for the World of Warcraft.
Do Black Temple, but it has become a bit repetitive for me to do the raids, I guess. Burnout? It's a bit of burnout, I guess, on the TBC stuff, yeah, I guess. Especially because I'm having a lot more fun on SOD at the moment. I don't understand burnout, just raid log, it's 1 day a week for 3 hours. Yeah, I'll see how I feel about it, guys. I think I need to, like, think a little bit about it. I really want to do Black Temple, and, like, I want to clear one Black Temple. I don't know if I want to keep blasting raids, though, on TBC. I'm having fun with it, but bro's gonna raid log, quit in PT and NH, and steal all the loot. Not really, like, I don't really think I've been stealing loot. I mean, I've been playing every single week. It's not like I haven't been playing. PvP, I don't have an interest in doing arena. I don't really care. I'm having a decent time with the raids, but yeah, time to log out of TBC until next week. That's kind of like where it's been, right? Not interested in arena equals bad at PvP. I don't care about being good in PvP in WoW. I really don't. I like PvP in like vanilla, doing world PvP and stuff like that, but I don't care for arena. I really don't. I can't with this face anymore. I think I just I don't know what I want to do with the TBC stuff. I will just say that like the Tempest Keep and the SSC, it is like it's a long phase, and I think I'm a bit burned out on it. I really do want to do Black Temple. But I think it's the trash, man. The trash in Tempest Keep is just so mind-numbing. It's so mind-numbing. Oh god. It's like either I keep just raiding on the Sundays and like we do like once a week like TBC raids until Black Temple, and I do a Black Temple and I might just kind of pause it a bit after that. Or we just wait, or I just wait a little bit till Black Temple comes out and I do a Black Temple then. But it's also like, I've been having a ton of fun with Zod, so... And when I'm playing the TBC stuff, I would almost rather just play Zod. Because that's where it is right now, right? Yawner says burning out from one raid a week is crazy. I mean, it's not... Maybe it does sound weird to you when you say it like that, but it's like... It's also the third time I played TBC, and I played a lot of TBC in the first and the second, right? So like it's also like I've just kind of like done everything as well. It's just like it's not that it's like maybe burnout. It's just not the most fun. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's like I'm enjoying doing the damage. Like but it's like I've just done it so much. I've done all the TBC raids. I know what's happening and everything. I got full biz. No, I still need gear and everything like that, but like, I mean, I got the DST like 4 weeks ago. It's not like I got DST and I quit, but my head is leaning towards like taking a break from the raiding a bit with it, and then maybe when Black Temple comes out, then we can like do Black Temple and stuff. You're also very dopamine focused, as many of us, so when Zod is a lot more fun, you have a hard time using your time on TBC. Yeah, I'm like playing TBC and I'm kind of like, I'm just thinking about, oh, like I could do all this cool stuff on Zod right now, right? That's what I'm thinking. You got DST and started raid logging? I was raid logging way before I got DST. What are you talking about? The raid log, I've been raid logging this for months now. It's been a while of raid logging at this point. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on how you guys feel about it as well. Like, if you guys think the TBC raids are still fun to watch, or like, whatever the heck, right? It's just kind of, for me, it's just a bit, meh. I don't know. What TBC raid do you hate doing the most? I think Hygiel is the most mind-numbing, but the TK trash is making me lose my mind a bit. I enjoy watching you pump on the warrior. That's the thing, that's the thing, I do like that too. I do like that as well, but man, I don't know. This phase has gotten on for too long and it's kind of gonna be dead. Yeah, maybe it's also because in my head, I'm not really hyped for Wrath either. Like, I don't really, I'm not that excited for Wrath, so tier 5 is like AQ phase. It's a really sloggy burnout phase. Historically, it just makes people peter out. Yeah, the thing is, I would like to continue with the TBC raids, but that's mainly just for the raid, because I like raiding with the people in the raid. But it does also feel like we don't know when Black Temple is coming out, and that's also frustrating for me, because then I could be like, oh shit, oh, Black Temple is here. Then we could do BT, but I don't know. I feel weird about TBC. I thought Phase 3 release date was announced for next month. We don't really know. Our whole raid group has the same sentiment. This thing, like, I'm having fun with the raid and I'm enjoying the people and stuff, like the people in the raid. But whenever I start the raids, I am a bit like, I'm like kind of counting down to finish it, and that's a bad feeling. That is a bit of a bad feeling, I think, that you're like, the raid hasn't even begun and you're already like, okay, we're done in like 2.5 hours, then we can do something else. It's a bad feeling, you know. Apart from SC and Kara, the raids until BT are hella boring. That's the feeling I always get before I quit. Yeah, I really would like to do Black Temple, but don't let the burn up is target from Goose getting the talent and suddenly Nobody else needed the talent. Dudes, what are you talking about? I'm the last melee to get the talent of Ashara. I kinda, like, to recap, I kinda wanna chill a bit with the raids until Black Temple, and then we do a Black Temple. I don't really look forward to doing Gruul into Vash, Kale into BT, Hyjal every Sunday. Yeah, that sounds so cooked, I think. And I think I'm just having more fun with other things right now. I kinda just wanna take a break, and then when Black Temple comes out, we make like a raid with that, or at least I would like to join the raid if it's possible then, and then I don't know, maybe that's it. If it's not fun, what's the point? I've just done a lot of it, right? That raid falls apart when you stop raiding, and that's why I feel bad. That's why I feel bad about it. Like I feel like I almost can't quit, because maybe I hope that if I were to stop playing, the people would still play. But I'm aware that maybe some people wouldn't, so that makes me feel bad, right? No, I'm not the raid leader, but I mean, we are raiding with a bunch of people from the community, right? So it's more like pressure for that, right? And I would feel bad if the raid would not continue, but maybe it would. You shouldn't force yourself if you're not having fun. Yeah, it's a bit... I kind of want to take a break, honestly, you know? And if people want to keep playing, they keep doing the raids. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, less loyalty than Joker? What are you talking about? What game are you looking to play? Well, I'm doing Season Discovery and Variety Gaming, right? Yeah, I kind of do want to take a break, I think. I think so. And then, I don't know, when Black Temple comes out, if... I would be fun to do the raids then, right? But even with that, though, I don't think I want to spam Black Temple. I don't know. I would like to do Kill Illidan, like do a Hyjal raid, do a Black Temple, have fun with it, and then do it like that. You said it's not your guild and you're not raid leading, so do what you want. People will still play. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the raid leader. I'm not managing the raids. It's Nico doing it. I'm just a raider, pretty much. I just show up and then pump, right? That's it. But I still have gotten a bit burned out on it. That's how it goes. All right, I'll think a bit about it, guys. But that's where my heart is at. I just wanted to like talk a little bit about that. You know.
Ouch.
All that old content, and that makes things a bit simpler for a new player. And this is useful for people who've never played World of Warcraft. But what about new players who actually know that there have been loads of expansions and ton of content already for World of Warcraft over the years?
I do wonder what they're gonna do with the classic mob, though, if they want to go to Warlords of Draenor. But he's making a good point as well with the old content not really being usable anymore. I think both Final Fantasy has like ways for people to still experience the previous raids as if they still matter, and also the Guild Wars. I believe Guild Wars have solved a little bit of the horizontal vertical progression system where you can do each expansion no matter where you are. That does obviously kind of bring some problems in terms of like scaling and stuff, and I think that's why WoW has done so well, because you always get stronger, and then that maybe wouldn't make you stronger, you would just do different content. But there's definitely ways of doing it and making things still matter.
It's just going to be really confusing.
I just want one character. I don't know why we need multiple characters for each server. I think that's just overcomplicating it.
Jim's confusion really highlighted this whole mess to me, and it's the crux of what made me want to make this video, because I can explain why all these versions are separate. I can explain why retail might be the easiest way to do a tour of any zone that he likes. But the more that I try to explain this whole mess to someone, the more it just sounds ridiculous. The thing with so many versions of Classic who's played the game for years at this point is it's just become a tiring experience.
I'm enjoying doing this, but I don't think I could do it again.
I leveled through the game in 2007. I leveled through the game in 2019 when Classic came out. I leveled through it on multiple characters. I've leveled through Season of Mastery, through Season of Discovery.
Dude, he's a gamer. How many freaking 60s did he have?
Through Season...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 level 60s, and he almost had like 3 more. Holy crap, dude. He played a lot of SOD. And there's a scroll bar as well, yeah.
Of Discovery, and now I'm doing it again in the anniversary servers. Every fresh server and new start feels exciting at first, but you get to about level 20 and you see the...
Boo! He's Alliance on Thunderstrike. For the Horde.
gravity of this situation. If you actually want to get to max level, you're going to have to grind this for hours, and that just starts to weigh down on you. And
most people quit between like 30 and 50 is where most people fall off, because the grind sets in, right? And I think maybe it's just because people are also just yearning for something new, you know? Like, the fresh is always fun in Era and Classic and TBC, but I had the same issue a little bit. I had a little bit of like an existential crisis, I suppose, with TBC, where like, I'm quite enjoying the raids. I'm having fun, but I'm also kind of I've just done it all. I've done all the raids. I mean, I've done SSC, I've done TK, I'm just kind of like redoing it, and it's fun, but it's also just a bit of like a burnout thing for myself. It's like a...
That's the one thing I'm excited about. I didn't raid in TTT at TBC. I did, I'm in Wrath. I did the Mount Run in Tempest Keep, and the old sets I farmed the good looking cloth pieces, but that's it.
A WoW fatigue, I think. Yeah.
And during my playthrough with Jim, I just kept coming back to this feeling. At this point, I've played through that base version of the game so many times, I really don't think I can do it that many more. This isn't what I wanted Classic to feel like, because I've felt worn down on World of Warcraft for years, because it's pretty much been a seasonal game before they even started season.
You also just played so much, and it can be tiring. I love Fresh, but it can be tiring of like, you know, doing the vanilla, then doing the SOM, then doing the SOD, and then doing the TPC, and then doing this and that and this. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Servers. Retail World of Warcraft has felt seasonal for years. The amount of times that I've leveled up during the first patch of the game, when the expansion releases, I like to get myself full purple gear, and that's kind of my completion. I can move on. Then I unsubscribe because I unsubscribe. Then I come back towards maybe 0.3, that's one of the patches towards the end of the expansion cycle, and suddenly there's catch-up gear. There's some sort of new island I can go to, and I get some green items that absolutely floor my old purple items.
Yeah, I mean, it's just way better. It feels crap to do this. The thing is, man, WoW has always been seasonal. Even in vanilla, it's still seasonal. Like, the seasons there are just the new raids, because they make the previous content a little bit absolute. I think in vanilla it's more of a whole package, where you're still inclined to go do Molten Core for Thunder Fury, or you're inclined to do Blackwood Lair for, you know, the freaking caster helmet or whatever. There still is reasons, but it's still seasonal for sure. Some WoW players need to learn to play other games. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, is like, if you feel burned out on something and you have fatigue with the game, take a break from it, do something else, and then come back to it when you feel like it. But it's also one of those things where, like, since 2019 Classic came out, there's just been so much, and it's like expanded in so many directions so fast.
That I did Mythic Dungeons for, and I just look back at the time and I think, why did I even bother trying to get gear in the first place? It just makes everything feel pointless. It makes all that effort feel like it was for nothing when you log in and your character's now basically irrelevant. It's just taught me that the effort that I put in has a shelf life, and it will expire. But that's why I don't buy retail anymore.
Is it too late to start? Is it too late to play? Am I too late? That's a question I get really often. Very, very often. RuneScape doesn't have this issue, because a lot of the content is evergreen.
And as WoW players, we remember that moment when Blizzard was so wrong. You think you do, but you don't. Blizzard were wrong in the obvious sense that people did desperately want Classic, and there were so many people ready to return. Classic appealed to me because it felt the opposite of what retail was doing. The world took time, and the leveling mattered, and getting that gear felt like a worthwhile endeavour. I even played it in a similar fashion to retail. I decided to unsubscribe during Phase 1 after I did a little bit of Molten Core. And when I came back, I still had all that gear that I worked towards. It wasn't just completely replaced by green gear. It felt like Classic brought back that sense of permanence, where it wasn't a seasonal thing anymore.
It is, though. I agree with what he's saying, but it still is. Like, when you go from Molten Core, and if you stop playing in Molten Core and you come back in AQ40, or like, you know, the gear's a lot better. But it is on a smaller scale. That I agree with. It's definitely a smaller scale, but it is like it's ramping already in vanilla. You know, whenever you reach Nax, the Nax gear is ridiculous, but there will still be some pieces of gear from Molten Core that's good. And there's like, you know, Soul Corrupt catch-up. It's not to the crazy degree in retail where you go from, you know, one raid and then another patch comes out and then the next raid gear is like twice as good. But there's a few key pieces, yeah, like a Ring of Ikuria, Onslaught Girdle, Bone Reaver's Edge, Thunder Fury, just to name a few. There's a lot of items. So yeah, it's DFT. A Drakefang Talisman is good still for Blackwood Lair. So it is still seasonal, but it's less. Vanilla as a whole is like a package that feels more just like a one game thing, right? Mind Quickening Gem for mages, yeah, true. So I mostly agree, honestly, but there is definitely still some seasonal aspect to it a little bit.
I could stay there and my effort would last on that.
I think maybe it started heavily in TBC, because when you go from vanilla to TBC, the gear jump is pretty crazy. It's quite ridiculous. Issue is also, even if there is items that are useful, people can't be bothered doing it. Just look at you guys in TBC. There are still decent items from Gruul as a CTK, even when Hyjal is out, but you can't be bothered to do it. But it's just a lot, right? How many pucks take a dungeon MC gear dude when they just want to do binding for MC? Yeah, but I mean, that's just an issue with players as a whole, feeling like they have to be really efficient, right? So that's just a player issue, I suppose.
Character. But as we know today, Classic didn't stay that one thing. Yes, we've got Classic era servers, but the game became seasonal and it started splitting. Classic never stayed as one clean version of old World of Warcraft because the Burning Crusade created the first major fork.
Yeah.
Suddenly your character's future became a decision. Did you want to stay in the old version
this
of
was
the
so
game
horrible
in era and stay at level 60? Or did you want to move on to the Burning Crusade? But if you wanted to do both,
hey,
you had to pay to copy. If you wanted
I was so annoyed by this. This really, I don't know how, I don't recall how much it was that they wanted you to pay for it, I must admit, but I remember thinking it was like a ridiculous amount. Was it like 20, 30, 40 bucks for a character? I don't remember, I must admit, I don't recall how much it was, but I remember it being pretty ridiculous. Yeah, like 20, 30, 40 bucks, right? Like something like that. But it should have just been free. It's ridiculous. But he's correct. Already then, it's splitting up the player base very, very heavily, yeah. And that's where like the problem, I guess, began.
To play both versions of the game, then there was the paid character clone service. And I did not want to pay for this. It just felt like a whole stress and a palaver because I wanted copy of all that work that I did on the era servers, but I didn't want to leave behind the guild that I spent countless hours playing the game with, and that decision had a deadline. Eventually, this service came offline, and if you suddenly wanted to go back and play your old character at level 60, those copies were deleted. It's just one small thing that eroded that feeling of permanence around Classic, where Blizzard could have just given me a copy of my character for free, but they felt the need to try and charge me for it. Anniversary Realms have...
They wanted to make money off Classic somehow, right?
Yeah, that was scummy.
Again, and given Blizzard another opportunity to double dip into your wallet. Me and Jim are leveling up on the Burning Crusade Anniversary servers, and these only recently moved on to the Burning Crusade, and eventually...
It's actually really cool. It's so awesome he's showing his friend like a playthrough of that. That's so sick. I bet he's streaming on Twitch as well with it.
Actually, it's going to move on again, but at some point along that anniversary timeline, the version of World of Warcraft that you started playing doesn't really feel the same anymore. You signed up for one version of World of Warcraft, but you didn't necessarily sign up for it to go on in perpetuity.
Say someone's passionate about one particular version of the game. You can only play that particular version of the game for a year or two and then it's gone. Do you really want to open up the launcher and see 12 different servers you could log into?
I mean, dude, it is crazy what he's saying there as well. Sometimes I don't even know where to find what I want to play. There's like World of Warcraft Classic, and then there's like World of Burning Crusade Anniversary, and then there's Mr. Pandaria Classic. And then under World of Warcraft Classic, there's sub-genres here. That's Classic Era, Hardcore, and Season of Discovery. So it's definitely a bit crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about why can't you just have classic and then one character.
And this is where a lot of you.
I get it, but it's the Pandora's box has been opened, and they can't just. I don't think they will just remove shit now, right? It's definitely an issue though. It's in that way that is a frustrating situation for sure. On top of that, there's servers that can't play together. Yeah.
You might be saying, just play private servers. I won't lie, back in the day I did try a private server, but something about it just felt like a waste of time because it wasn't the official server. It felt like if I spent any time in this private server, it was pointless. Like I was putting hours into the ether. And I've got to give retail credit here. I still have my...
I don't really agree with that. I mean, shit, I played a lot of private servers in the past. I don't really play them anymore, but back before Classic came out, that was the only way I could really play vanilla, and I enjoyed my time. I don't look at WoW as an investment. I look at it as a fun time. Let's log in, have a good time. It may not last forever, but that's okay.
Character that I originally played back in 2007, it still has everything that I did logged on there. If I put all that time...
I get this, and I think this is a big reason why a lot of people still want to play retail and wants to continue, because they have memories on the account. You log in, you see your achievements you see the date, like you look at, oh man, I did this in 2008, that's so cool. You see your feats of strength, oh, I logged in for the 2006 anniversary, whatever, right? It's a lot of time and a lot of memories tied to it. I personally don't really care anymore. I've kind of just gone beyond that. I don't know. It's such a different game for me that I don't really care. It is what it is. I just play and I have fun with it. A lot of people really want to be invested in a character at the moment, even if they're quit later on. At least you know it's still there. That's true. That is very true. If you feel like the investment, if you feel like the character won't last, then it's hard to invest your time into it, even if you deep down know that you won't play a certain thing forever. Yeah, that's true.
Logged on there. If I put all that time into a private server, Blizzard would have just shut it down and it would be gone. But on the flip side, yeah, I've got my old character, but it's in a version of the game that I just really don't want to play anymore.
Yep, that's how I feel about my rank 14 rogue. I freaking love my... Dude, I'm so sad. First of all, the rank 14 rogue is on NA, but it's in mob. Like, I don't care to log in and like have all my cool like rank 14 titles and gear and shit, and then I'm like in Mr. Pandaria that I just don't care about. I just don't care.
Season of Discovery was genuinely exciting when it released. Having a level cap of only 25 was the reason why it worked. It was only a small ask, and it felt like everyone I knew was coming back to World of Warcraft.
This was hype.
And it didn't feel like you were signing up your life away to a grind. I mean, getting to level 25 didn't take that long, and the first phase of Season of Discovery felt more alive than any version of WoW I've played recently.
True.
But as the phases went on, most of the people disappeared. The only people that really stayed were the WoW heads. And that's not a criticism of the people that were hanging around. It's just what seasonal content does. It creates a big burst of energy. When it's fresh, everyone comes back for the season, and the world feels peak and the most alive. But over time, that energy, of course, fades. Anniversary.
That's natural though. There's nothing wrong with that, I think. But that is the nature of a seasonal game. You need the new seasons to keep pumping life into it, right?
So we had that fresh appeal too, because everyone started at level 1. Everyone has no gold, and the low level zones are completely packed once again, and that early game economy matters more than ever. You could say that this is when World of Warcraft feels most like World of Warcraft, when those servers are the most alive during those first few weeks. But after enough of these fresh server launches, it just starts to weigh you down. I've played through Classic too many times now.
In a way, I kind of agree, man. I have played it so much, man.
I do still love the game, but I just don't know if I can keep doing it. And I'm sorry.
It resonates with me actually quite a bit, too. And that's also why the whole, like, I don't know, for me, like, I've been raiding in TPC, it's been fun, but I've just done it, man. I've done it in, like, back in the day, like in 2007, 6, 7, 8, whatever. And I've done it in the re-release on freaking 4 character. I got 2 sets of warglaves. I had a shaman. I played so much, and then now I'm also playing, but I've done it, and I think that's when like I realized a little bit yesterday. Like, I think I just need a break. I think, and then for me with the whole classic situation, I think a lot of people feel similar as well. It's like the whole classic plus debacle is there because people just want something new, but in a familiar world. Something that's like fresh, like it was with Season of Discovery, but not a seasonal thing.
Sorry to do this, but at this point, we need to talk about RuneScape.
Oh, there we go.
This is where I need to give credit to RuneScape. And I know I've said this before, but it's still there. It feels permanent. I can log into my old school RuneScape account. It's got everything that I did. It's got all the progression I did towards my skills, all the gear that I got. And if I want, I can make some incremental progress. The game is the same, but there are some new things in there. It's made in a way where it feels like an extension of the game, and it doesn't make everything else irrelevant. Even though I don't really play it, I think about it a lot because it just makes me realise what I want from World of Warcraft. And that's a version of WoW where my progress feels worthwhile, and if I wanted to, I could come back to it years later and continue.
I don't know if WoW could ever do that though. Could WoW fully do a horizontal progression? I feel like they're kind of tied down to that model of like vertical so hard. I don't know if it would be possible to break those shackles of that progression system that WoW has. That would fundamentally, you would fundamentally have to change the core aspects of how WoW functions then. Because it is so built into what WoW is. Vanilla obviously does have some, you know, oh shoot, we can do Molten Core still, we can do this, but it still progresses. It does. When you get to Nax, the Nax gear is way better than Molten Core gear. Even if you take Thunder Fury into like equation and Onslaught Girdle and Band of Acuria, Bone Reaver's Edge, all that stuff. People don't care about horizontal. I think that's not true. You can say you don't care about it. You can't say people, but because it's a really big debate that there is in a lot of like these YouTube videos and forums and online like Reddit posts and stuff about the horizontal versus vertical.
The essence of it is you want to play classic, but you want to be able to say, right, I've leveled up Jimothy.
I think most people don't care. Perhaps you're right, but it's a discussion we have a lot, I feel like.
Burning Crusade, I now want to take Jimothy into the Mists of Pandaria.
With that, yeah, just overlapping them. That's all I want. I don't want to like go to this one or that one.
It's really interesting to hear what Jim's thoughts are on this as a new player, because he hasn't got all that years of baggage, and when he wants to play a different version of the game, if he puts his time into this character, he wants it to be worthwhile across the whole thing. If you've got a friend on Mists of Pandaria and you've got a friend on TBC, realistically, you can't play both. And I know...
Yeah, you can, of course. Why is every stream starts with WoW Classic discussion? Because I think it's interesting to talk about. I haven't seen horizontal explained in a way that makes it appealing. That's fair enough. Maybe you just don't like that style. Maybe that's not something that's appealing to you, and that's okay, right? I think there definitely is... There's good and bad things about both, right? If you end up having a horizontal progression where everything is kind of like... You're not really progressing your gear, you're just doing different raids with the same gear and different sets or collections. That can feel bad too. Vertical progression is so fun because you're always getting stronger. But the big drawback is eventually you get so strong that some things don't matter. And I've realized that now very heavily in Season of Discovery, where like we're just destroying things suddenly. It's just exponential, and that's how, I mean, Sword is a crazy example, but still.
You're probably thinking, why not just buy a boost? And I'll be honest, I just don't want to pay Blizzard to boost a character.
Stupid.
There's something inside of me just feels like that's some sort of scam, and that should be a feature within the game itself. I don't know what the answer is here, maybe you've got a better idea than me, but this is where we need to talk about Classic Plus.
Yeah, I just hope I can play all the expansions with just the one character on Classic Plus.
Well, if there's Classic Plus, there wouldn't be any expansions.
What? Oh, okay, I'm confused now.
Classic Plus is...
Okay, well, I guess it's kind of difficult to have a Classic Plus discussion with someone that's never played Classic, because I feel like Classic Plus would be for people that kind of understand a bit. I don't know, maybe that's a weird take, but yeah, it would be hard, right? Because he probably just wants to play all of WoW, but there is no all of WoW anymore.
Exciting, because...
And Classic Plus is like... in my brain, Classic Plus would be for people that really likes Classic and likes the world of vanilla WoW, but just wants to see more of it. You know, more content, maybe some expanded classes or whatever, right? It wouldn't be to go down the pipeline of, oh, let's do Burning Crusade, but in vanilla, and then, no. It would be like a different thing, right?
Could finally feel like the answer, but only if it's genuinely different. I've leveled through this world so many times that if it's just a slightly altered version of levels 1 to 60, it's just not going to be enough. It has to feel like the real future of Classic.
Okay.
It can't just be Season of Discovery 2, and it can't be something that everyone piles into for a couple of months and then leaves again. It has to make progress feel like a place that's safe to invest your time in.
If Classic Plus ends up not being good, then that might be the end of WoW for me.
Fresh server.
I kind of feel the same. Actually, like I do. It's like a
Oh, it's sad.
I don't know, like the last stand in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I will always love vanilla, always love era, and I will always be able to go back to it, but I'm definitely yearning for something new personally. Then I can still play retail. For me, I don't really
Familiar but new.
Who knows what's gonna happen with retail? Maybe they'll do something crazy and I'll start loving it, but I don't know. A man can only walk in circles for so long. I think I've just done it so much. I've done it so much, and if it came to that point, I would rather just kind of experience other MMOs as well, you know? You know, like I did with RuneScape, there's Final Fantasy, there's Guild Wars, there's a lot of other interesting things as well to try.
Servers are a great time, and for those first few weeks of those servers being online, it makes World of Warcraft feel truly alive again. And seasons can be fun. Season of Discovery has proved that. Catch-up gear in retail is a useful thing for certain players. It allows you to get straight into that new content. And moving Classic from expansion to expansion makes sense for the people who want it. And while I wouldn't play the story mode feature in retail World of Warcraft, it makes sense for the people who are looking for a single-player version of the game. But all of this together makes for a World of Warcraft that is confusing and makes progress feel temporary.
Very hard.
It's got to a point where it feels like Blizzard have this need to give WoW players a reason to start over and over again at risk of them unsubscribing. But the truth,
a lot of content is too seasonal these days. Battle passes, new seasons, new things, right?
I don't want another reset. I want a place where my progress can feel like it lasts. That's what Classic originally felt like, and what RuneScape seems to have mastered. And this is what Jim was asking for without having the World of Warcraft knowledge to explain it. This is really what Classic Plus has to be. World of Warcraft doesn't need yet another fresh start.
Yeah, it would, not a seasonal thing, it would, something that would last, where people gave, oh my gosh, like I'm not that like you should invest into a character, but like you should feel like you are in a way. That like, oh my god, I have things to look forward to in this game. When you play Era and you play Vanilla and there's a fresh, it's fun.
Vanilla? I love his pronounce of vanilla. Vanilla?
But it does end. I guess that's also okay, but for a lot of people that have done it a lot of times, myself included, it can feel weird. It's hard to put into words. I think he's doing a good job at it too, but it definitely is deep down. I feel like I'm yearning for something new, but in the same world. The main reason I like a reset is because it resets the economy free of bots. That's true, and that's why Fresh has always been so fun, because it's a fresh start. Isn't that what Era is? It's just there and it's not going on. Yeah, but that's also a bit like, okay, well now I can play on Era, but it won't, nothing will ever be added to it. It's just is what it is. It's a time capsule, and that's fine. But for me, I don't have much interest in that, honestly. There won't be a reset on Era. There won't. It's just that Nax. If I want to do it, I can do it. But I've never really felt motivated to play on Era.
It needs somewhere that makes the game feel persistent.
Yeah.
I want to be able to log into this game 5 years later and feel like I can pick up where I left off.
Everything ends. These addicts just need to move on instead of clinging their life to something that is over. I think in life works like that. I do agree to a certain degree that, like, yeah, man, like if you're not having fun with something, just play something else. Take a break from it. That's what I'm doing with TPC now. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from it because I've just kind of burned out with it. But I don't think there's anything wrong as a World of Warcraft like vanilla like player to kind of want some new content in the world that you love, right? That's just kind of, I feel like that's not like a big ask. It's not really crazy.
Know that there's still something new to explore. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and no, this is not a sweat patch, it's a shadow from my expert lighting setup. Thank you so much to the YouTube channel members and the Patreon members, and click one of these two videos for something different. I'll see you in the
why I play WoW alone, the solo experience.
You're a kid and you go to school and you have all these friends that have the same interests as you. You go home after school with the
The reason I solo in WoW is because I don't really have anyone that plays WoW in my friend group.
excitement that you'll get to meet all your friends in this other world by logging into your favorite game and playing together for hours on end until your mom yells at you to go to bed. Or maybe the people in your school don't play games with you, but you're such a social kid and you seem to fit in wherever you go. You find it easy to fit in with groups of people online who you can share games with. But as the years go on and you get older, you start to notice that the people that you regularly hang out with in-game are not coming online as regularly as you are.
Dude, that's the experience I had as well with like going to LAN parties with my friends when I was in middle school, elementary school. We didn't know how good we had it, man. We didn't. We would like meet up every other weekend or once a month or something, do a LAN party. And before we knew it, the next LAN party would never come.
It was our last one.
And it will be the final one that we ever did.
Dang.
It was a good time though. It was a fantastic time. It really, really was.
Maybe they're playing while you're busy, or some eventually log out for the last time without warning and are never seen again.
It is kind of depressing looking at like your friends list or like your Steam friend list and then, I don't know, last time online 3 years or something.
Yeah.
You lose touch with these people because as your life gets busier, you don't really have time to reply to the Skype message that's been sitting in your notification for weeks. And when Skype eventually became outdated, not everybody knew that you moved on to Discord or other socials to stay in contact with you. Maybe you stopped checking messages there too. Your life getting busier doesn't necessarily mean that you stop liking the hobbies and things that you loved as a kid. So what happens if you still want to play World of Warcraft, but all your friends are gone and you're not somebody who can easily fit in and make friends online anymore? What if you can't keep up with guilds and other players? Do you get to enjoy the game at all? Is World of...
You really do. I think for myself, when it comes to the when it comes to like World of Warcraft and how I started having a lot of fun with it again, it really was when I started doing hardcore content. Because to me, I love WoW, I love MMOs, but sometimes always grouping with people, doing dungeons and having to schedule raids and like manage people, and that can be really draining for me. So when I started delving into a lot of the hardcore content, most of the stuff that I did was actually solo. I didn't really play with a lot of people apart from dungeons. I would group up and then do dungeons, and then we would be on our merry way because we were all playing solo self-found. And it sounds weird wanting to play fully solo in an MMO, but for me, I just like being in a world with other people. I don't necessarily always want to play with a lot of people, but I just like that I'm in that world, I'm playing in the world, and there's other people in that world as well. It's a similar thing when I played a lot of old school RuneScape, where some chatters were like, "Oh, why you? This is not an MMO. This is not. You're not even playing with anyone. This is a solo game." And a lot of the things that you do in old school RuneScape are solo to a big degree, but there's other people doing those things in the world as well. I love that stuff. I love it when you can kind of just run around and do your own thing in an MMO. Same thing with like, I don't know, doing an MSQ. You're just going through like a story, and it's in the world where people are also doing that. Weird how always, after 1 month of raid logging, what's up, Mufford?
Warcraft just done.
This is how it is for me.
At this stage. Today we're going to talk about World of Warcraft as a solo experience.
Yeah.
What is it like to play the game without friends or other people in general? Before we get started, hi, my name is Angelica, and I actually do have friends.
Oh.
They're all here. You know, when this exact scenario happened to me, and I realized that I was all alone in Azeroth, I was kind of sad about it. It sucks
I can
not
relate.
able to share this world with other people, especially if that's all you've known. Now, when I first started playing WoW, I was playing it by myself for a long time because I couldn't speak enough English to interact with people in a meaningful way.
I know that feeling. Oh yeah, I know that feeling. I didn't understand anything at all. Me as a Danish person, like playing internet, like like video games online was kind of like what taught me English and like made me learn the language as a whole.
That was fine. However, when I finally got to embrace the social element of the game to its full capacity, I realized that when I didn't have it, I really missed it. But as more time passed and I still had the craving to continue playing WoW just because I really love the world and I find comfort in going back to it, I realized—
I do too, man. Sometimes I long for like Mulgore, just to like go through Mulgore again. It's so, maybe I'm addicted. I don't know. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I just love the world. Even if you're playing solo. Yeah, the times with Bonnie was amazing in Real.
The World of Warcraft is perfectly fine as a solo experience.
It is.
In fact, I think it lets you view the world from a different perspective and arguably even enjoy your time there a lot more. A lot of people don't really like World of Warcraft because of its grindy element. You could say that all the quests are exactly the same. You either have to gather X amount of this thing or slay Y amount of that thing, deliver something, speak to someone, a constant back and forth involving a lot of running around at a moderately slow pace until—
It is a lot of chores, but I really think they nailed progression really well in this game, especially vanilla.
You reach level 40, and then at a slightly quicker pace, if you're able to afford it, that is. I think that every quest being the same, more or less, makes it kind of therapeutic. You don't really have to think too much about what you're doing. You can just go on autopilot and fully immerse yourself in the forests, mountains, valleys, and plains of Azeroth.
It is, yeah, it is kind of repetitive, but it's a comfy loop. I do agree with that, Parsh. It's a comfy loop that you kind of just go through the motion of it. Is a lot of the quests the same? Yeah. Are they quite repetitive? Yeah, but they're kind of comfy. And you get in like a nice different scenery and different areas and dungeons and stuff.
No pressure to keep up with anyone or anything. The world moves around you, but you have your own path ahead that will take you where you want to go in your own time. Though this was always a possibility, I only really started to view the world that way after playing Classic in hardcore.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's what I said too. Dude, the hardcore thing, like playing hardcore really like changed my view a lot on the game, and I guess gaming in general, it really did.
This experience myself before the official hardcore servers launched by using the add-on. This was
and it forces you to slow down and just immerse yourself. It's kind of like an RPG, like the hardcore thing. I know it's not meant to be played that way, and it's weird playing WoW in hardcore, but it kind of forces you to just take your time.
Third-party add-on created specifically for players who wanted to experience the game this way.
Yeah.
And some even say that this was better than the actual hardcore servers, but I'll mention more on that later.
I would argue so as well, actually, but that's just because it was so special at the time.
Add-on had its own community website, and there you could see the rules that you needed to follow in order for it to be an authentic hardcore experience. The rules included things like no auction house, no player-to-player mail or trading.
SSF.
You could only run each dungeon once per character. But the biggest thing for me was the rule about no grouping, unless you're going to a dungeon. I couldn't understand how people managed without grouping, especially in a death delete scenario. Though it's intimidating, once you get started you realize that this is actually one of the best ways to enjoy the game, especially now, so many years later, when the classic experience has actually started to get a bit stale for people. Unless you're playing on Turtle WoW. Those guys never seem to complain about.
Oh, okay. It's an older video chat. Okay, rip. Yep.
But you do start to look at the world in a completely different way. World of Warcraft being a social game, no grouping was completely unfathomable to me. And yet, it's 100% possible and in a lot of ways, more fun.
To be fair, man, when I played back when I was a kid and like younger and stuff, I would always start playing with my friends, but I just played way more than them, so I out-leveled them, and I would always end up playing alone anyway. That's kind of how it was for me. I played way too much.
Well, no grouping in a hardcore scenario leaves you in a state where the only person you can rely on is yourself. There's no LFM Hogger, no anyone for Tharl Zun, and certainly no LFG Fenris Isle. This, especially in a hardcore scenario, forces you to get really good at your class. Really try and learn how to get the most out of your abilities at any given level, maybe even consider professions to get you through, since you can't use the auction house.
You always go engineering, let's be honest, guys. Come on, just always go engineering. Who are we kidding here, dude? Like, it's always mining engineering. Come on. Ridiculous. But it is true, though. Like, it did make me view a lot of the monsters and bosses in a different spectrum, I guess, like
or trade
a
with
light.
other people, so you have to do everything by yourself. In group scenarios, I feel like very often, particularly DPS classes, can get away with doing the bare minimum. If you're someone like a hunter or a mage, you don't really have to do a whole lot, and you're still able to top DPS meters easily. There's no
I mean, on an endgame,
real need for you to get good at your class. You can rely on other people, and you probably don't even need to fully understand what you're doing at all, and nobody would even notice. When you're alone and you're facing
the shade of it
an elite
all.
mob for a quest, you have to start using a lot more of your brain to figure out how to defeat the mobs and get out of there alive.
It's fun, and the thing about hardcore is that you make your own challenge as well. And I think a lot of the MMO aspects, at least from the hardcore days, came from like other people also being hardcore in the world that you're in, and like seeing those like notification pop-ups and all that stuff.
You have to exhaust all your resources, plan ahead, and really survive. You need to be making decisions all the time. Is that quest that's in a cave really worth it, or are you going to get whooped when too many mobs respawn at the same time and find you frolicking about? It's all on you, and there are real stakes, because if you make a mistake, you will lose your character right there in that stupid game.
Yeah, you can end up wasting a lot of not wasting, but spending a lot of time on that stuff. Speaking of spending a lot of time, I saw that Saryu spent 5 hours yesterday on the Undead first campaign in Warcraft 3. And he was spam reloading, man. Oh my gosh, Saryu was struggling yesterday as well.
Kind of self-reliance really makes you appreciate playing solo.
Dude, I saw him like reload the game, he made like saves, and he like reloaded, and then he like messed up, and then he reloaded, and he messed up again, and he reloaded. And it took him 5 hours. Oh my god, I felt so vindicated in myself because I struggled so hard on that mission myself. It was a struggle. I don't know how long that mission took for me, but it was a while. I don't remember if I like made loads, or I don't remember if I did, but that mission was rough. It's fun though. It's so fun. Critius it's the first mission in Undead Warcraft campaign.
You're responsible for you. Nobody's holding you back, and you're also able to play the game at your own pace. One thought that I had about playing solo is that you're straight up unable to do certain quests. For example, if you're leveling in Redridge, there are several elite quests there that are kind of a big deal in terms of experience that you get there, and you really need like a dungeon-sized group to get through those. It's true that some scenarios are best avoided when you're by yourself, so you instead get to experience more of the world. Typically, when you're leveling, you have sort of a choice in terms of the zones that you're going to cover in any particular level bracket. Like, you can choose between Westfall, Darkshore, or Loch Modan. Or, if you're Horde, you might be looking at
Barrens. You just do Barrens.
The Barrens or Silverpine Forest. When you're by yourself...
To be fair, I like Silverpine, but Barrens is just so much better. It's so crazy. Silverpine though, if anyone is playing Era or Hardcore or anything and you haven't done Silverpine, it's actually a really cool zone to level in. It's super like the ambience and the music and it's very good. Very good.
Especially in hardcore, you might actually opt to do all of the zones. For example, when you're questing in Westfall, starting at say level 11, you eventually get to a point when you feel a little underleveled, as the quests that you're doing at level 15 are in areas where a bunch of level 18 mobs are walking around. That might not be a huge difference, but in a hardcore scenario, if you have that level 18 and any other mob attacking you at the same time, you might be cooked. So you
True. Doesn't Barrens cover more levels? Barrens is like level 10 to technically like 27, like 28. It's a really big level range.
Take a step back, travel to Darkshore, take the quests that are available there for level 11 onwards, and with the XP you gather, you're then able to return to Westfall and pick up where you left off. I feel like this makes leveling more of a journey and more of an adventure. You're covering more ground within a particular level bracket. If you're taking advantage of any XP that you can get more or less safely, you might also discover quests in areas of the game that you would have otherwise ignored because you leveled too quickly for them.
Very true. There's a lot of zones that I never really did before hardcore, because what was the point of doing that? I like genuinely, I really mean this, like playing hardcore really like reinvigorated my desire to play classic a lot. Obviously since then I've done a lot of other things nowadays, and it's been a while since I played hardcore, but that playing solo and just experiencing the world so differently was so fun to me. Because I played the game so much. I know everything at this point, but it gave me a new perspective on the game. And I think that perspective is like learning to take stuff a bit slower and not rush everything. Because that's something that I definitely do a lot, and it's a really bad habit. Barrens also has like 3 dungeons. The Silverbrand only has 1. Barrens is crazy. Yeah, Barrens is a crazy big zone.
One such example for me was a quest that you can get between the wetlands and the
This is such a cool quest.
I always skipped this quest because it was on like a broken off part of the bridge that's really hard to get to. You have to do like really weird parkour to get to it. It had an unusually high amount of XP for it being just speak to this other NPC in this safe location.
There's also one in the water.
So I was determined to get it. I was at a bit of a standstill in hardcore in terms of safe quests that I could do without dying, so it was a decent option. Not without its risks, however. The first time...
But that's what makes it fun. Ultra hardcore actually brought that back a feeling a bit. Ultra hardcore was too much for me. I tried it, I played it a little bit, but for me it felt a bit too forced. Honestly, like, I don't know, maybe that was just me, but it just felt a bit too much, personally.
I tried it, I nearly had a heart attack. Fell all the way down, but I realized it's more or less safe. You don't die, you end up in water. If you fall right, there is a bit of a platform just before the water that you can land on. Now, I was doing this for a very long time, because when you fell into the water, you also had to swim up and go all the way around up the mountain and through a dark iron dwarf camp. So again, it wasn't the safest. It was okay. It was manageable. I eventually did succeed. As you can see, it was quite exciting. I don't remember the last time I was this excited about WoW in a group setting. So for me, this sort of solo hardcore gameplay really revived the game. I was really happy. And in general, getting things done yourself and not dying in the process was a new kind of rewarding and special. Something that no matter how many friends I played with, I just hadn't experienced in WoW for a long time. This was my experience with the add-on. They of course did later release the official hardcore servers, and those didn't restrict player-to-player mail, the auction house, trading.
It's a self-inflicted It's a self-imposed challenge.
Or grouping. I think that this diminished the hardcore experience. It was definitely more hardcore if you were following the add-on. Blizzard seemed to kind of embrace this solo player initiative by adding something called the self-found mode.
I think what Blizzard did was great. I thought it was awesome. I think it's awesome. I really think it is.
This did restrict the auction house, mail, and trading, but it didn't restrict grouping, which is why I also personally think that the add-on and the rules that they had there were superior.
The add-on was more special, I think, because it was a community-driven thing. Obviously, it's super awesome having official hardcore, but it was just special because it was fully community-driven, and that is just kind of unique.
We're speaking of a more hardcore.
Alright guys, I'm gonna resurrect and then I'm gonna get some food. How long have I been streaming? Yeah, so 30 hours. I might probably do it in 30-hour increments. Okay, I think I'll skip to these quests and go do the ones I'm actually leveled for. And I'll log out. Here. But thank you for the baby people who've stuck around. I hope you enjoy your leveling. I'll log out on this hill. Alright guys, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day, and I'll come back in a couple of hours time.